Will Kemi Badenoch ever catch a break? By common consent, the Conservative leader has made little of the poor hand she was dealt after winning her party's selection contest last October. Opposition after a landslide defeat is a thankless task. But Badenoch has reputedly made the situation worse by appearing ill-prepared for her weekly Westminster duels with the Prime Minister. Badenoch is also criticized for her unwillingness to get on with the hard slog, grip and grin, opposition requirement to meet the people up and down the country and to engage with the media. Badenoch asks for time, hoping to still be in the game in 2027, when thoughts will turn to the next general election. By then Sir Keir Starmer's unpopularity will have deepened and the voting public, when called on to choose the next government, will opt for a serious alternative with a costed program, rather than the protest politics of reform. The Tories are unlikely to do worse than their pitiful showing last July, and if Labour's stewardship of the economy remains troubled and Starmer establishes himself more thoroughly in the public mind as an overpromoted supermarket manager, then the Tories might be competitive as soon as the next general election. So goes the theory. But then President Trump squabbles disgracefully with Ukraine's embattled leader, President Zelensky, at a White House press conference. Zelensky is given a take-it-or-leave-it ultimatum on terms only the Russians would applaud, leaving the world aghast. With Ukraine scrambling for security guarantees, it was left to Sir Keir to host an emergency summit of leaders in London to show Europe's solidarity with its beleaguered eastern ally. Badenoch, of course, reproached Trump for his appalling ambush of the Ukrainian leader. Her party's shadow foreign minister Priti Patel also chewed out Nigel Farage, after the Reform UK leader said Volodymyr Zelensky had been rude to Donald Trump. Taking pot shots at Reform's talisman is good politics, but Badenoch must know the dangers of getting caught on the wrong side of the loquacious Trump, especially after investing so much time in courting the media platforms of the hard right, where Trump is treated as a religious deity. Worse still, Badenoch has no choice but to get behind Starmer's coalition of the willing and watch from the sidelines as he revels in the applause that has followed his swift support of Zelensky. Sir Keir is the toast of Western diplomatic circles. Even Piers Morgan went on television to declare that the Prime Minister has found his mojo. If Starmer continues as the staunch ally of Ukraine, rallying Western support and showing the Americans a true picture of international leadership, it could pay dividends at home and abroad for the Prime Minister. Statesman Starmer, hosting a summit of world leaders, whilst Badenoch shouts from the margins about his flawed Chagos Islands deal, makes the opposition leader seem even more irrelevant and ineffective. And to make matters worse for the Tories, President Trump has signaled that he is minded to support the British government's Chagos Island deal, leaving the Tories bemused and crestfallen. Getting on the wrong side of Trump once might be seen as careless in right-wing circles. Doing so twice looks foolish indeed, and will not easily be forgiven by the likes of Vice President J.D. Vance and internet luminary Jordan Peterson. Look how Nigel Farage is squirming currently, trying to reconcile his support for Ukraine and an enduring fidelity to the Trump line. Farage may be betting that his equivocation over Ukraine will be forgotten, or that his brand is bigger than the current kerfuffle, enabling him to ride out the political storm Trump's White House bullying of Zelensky has caused, without lasting damage to his domestic fortunes. French parties can take such chances. Leaders of Her Majesty's opposition cannot. Badenoch must be praying that the media spotlight swiftly moves away from international affairs and returns to national politics. Badenoch wants to see no more of Starmer sounding like a latter-day Churchill. Let the television screens be filled instead with the curmudgeonly scowls of Chancellor Rachel Reeves, Angela Rayner, or Ed Miliband and the other Labour hate figures upon whom Badenoch's entire political project appears to rest. Thank you for listening to this podcast from our master's blankets. We are delighted to have had your attention. Please like and share this podcast. And whilst you're here, please consider subscribing to this channel. This helps us to keep going and to reach more people with our updates on Kemi Badenoch's leadership of the Conservative Party and the challenges she faces. See you next time.